Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our meditation session today. Hope everyone's doing well. Um, so, thinking a bit about what we were meditating on last week, last Thursday. Um, we've been meditating on karma for the about the last month or so, and we getting to the bit of the end of this topic, and we were contemplating how if our day's full of virtuous actions, then we're just creating positive karma. And then there's no space for the negative karma. So it's, becoming a more virtuous person and, kind of crowding out all the negativity, um, all, the- all the activities that are only for myself alone. Um, so that's kind of what we were contemplating last week. And this week we'll meditate on purification. So how do we, because we have some negative karma, and how do we purify, and what does that look like? Not to go through a the traditional purification meditation. There's lots of those during the week, and much better people suited to lead those. So we'll just talk about why is important and contemplate and meditate on why is it important. So we begin by bringing our minds, our bodies into this session. And try to bring our mind inside because our mind almost 100% of the day is outside, looking out. So we want to bring it inside and to help us do this, we can bring our attention to our breath, observing the inhale and the exhale. And we can focus just on the tip of the nose, right at the end of the nostrils, just feeling the sensation of the air passing with every in-breath and with every out-breath. Just holding our concentration at the tip of the nose. And now with a calm mind, we can develop our motivation. Why are we meditating? Why are we working with our minds? So take a moment to think, what is your individual motivation? And then on top of your individual motivation, we're going to add our bodhicitta motivation. May myself alone achieve enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings to lead them to enlightenment. And in order to do that, I need to purify my karma. And it's possible to purify even the heaviest of negative karmas. All non-virtue can be purified. And we can recall that all actions are not wasted. Whether it's a positive action or a negative action, the karmic seed is planted. But when we talk about this, actions will not be wasted. It really refers to cases where karma is not purified. And in those cases, it's definite that the result will be experienced. So the Buddha explained that in general, negative karma has no good qualities. However, its nature is impermanent. The nature is changeable, and therefore it has this quality that you can purify it. And we can purify the negative karma doing like Vajrasattva purification practice, meditating on the four opponent powers. But sometimes we have doubt and we say, how can we purify karma from previous lifetimes when I have difficulty recollecting all the instances of negative karma just for the last year, much less the entire life, this life, or past lives. So how is it possible if we can't remember? Or is it possible? Suppose you decided to destroy every single animal, insect, bird in a particular forest. And by burning the entire forest, you could be sure to have destroyed all of them. And you would do this without knowing the uh, specific instances or the species that you've killed, not knowing exactly what's in the forest, right? So in the same way, by grouping all the negative karma over all lifetimes and practicing the four opponent powers, then all the negative karmas can be purified without identifying each particular instance. And if the four opponent powers are applied strongly with sincere regret, a powerful commitment, then any negative karma, even the heaviest, can be completely purified. And applying the four opponent powers with medium strength, then negative karma will be lessened. And even if the practice is weak, when we do the four opponent powers, at least it will prevent the negative karma from increasing. So our intention is very important here. It might be the most important uh, aspect of our lives. The intention of every action, the intention of our practice. If we checked our intention before every action, guaranteed we wouldn't create any negative karma. So what do you think? Think about it. Let's let this topic sink into our minds. And if we take just an example from our everyday lives and think about something that we have full intention, we have full clarity, full of passion. Maybe it's a hobby. And before we start doing the activity, our intention is super clear. So maybe it's going out and climbing the local mountain, or so we know we want to get to the peak. So we pack our bag for the day. We fill it with water, some food. We put on our good shoes and we set off. We're really motivated. We get tired, but we still make it to the top. And then on the other side, we have things that we do passively with not a lot of thought, not a lot of intention. Maybe you can think of a few that you do every day, like drinking a glass of water. So we can see like when our motivation, our intention is clear and strong, then we achieve our what we're setting out to do. We do it with conviction. We do it with meaning. Whereas when this is lacking, then, there's less result. Maybe it doesn't even happen. So applying this concept to our practice, to our purification practice, can we see how that matters? How we can, we have the power to make the practice great, or we have the power to make it good enough. So we see how important purification is. So does having our purification practice, does this give us a license to continue engaging in non-virtue by thinking, oh, I can purify it later? Of course, you could, because purifying non-virtue will prevent the experience of a suffering result, or it reduces the heavy karmic results. But isn't it much better to just avoid non-virtue? I think, having an example of this one can help us. The one that I like to use is lying. And if you haven't lied, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But I've made a few lies in my past. And the amount of effort that I have to go through to hold the lie, to live day by day holding that lie, this false pretense, takes an enormous amount of energy, enormous amount of time. Whereas not lying or just telling the truth, it's incredibly freeing, right? You say it once, it's the truth. There's no cover up. Mission accomplished. You don't have to think about it forever again. So it's similar like the purification, you have when you have this negative acts, purifying takes time, takes effort. Whereas just not engaging in negative actions, it's finished, it's accomplished, it's all virtue. No more work to be done. So I hope that, by understanding the importance of purification, then we're well motivated to engage in purification practices, and even more motivated to stop creating non-virtue. And with that, we can dedicate all of the merits, contemplating karma, contemplating practicing purification for the sake of all beings. And we can dedicate to all those that are dealing with illness and sickness. May they quickly be healed. May their karma be purified through experiencing their illness. And may those causes of suffering never ripen in their minds again. And we can make special dedication for Eric, who just passed away, and for our dear Lou, who's experiencing illness. May Eric find a precious human rebirth quickly, and may Lou purify all his negativity through experiencing illness. And may all beings that are suffering in any form, may their suffering stop immediately. Thank you, everyone.